Alice in Wonderland. One fine afternoon, Alice was looking at the flowers in the garden. It was warm, and Alice started to feel sleepy. Just then, a white rabbit passed in front of Alice. And what do you know? The white rabbit was wearing a vest and had a watch. I must hurry, or I'll be late. The white rabbit was running as he shouted this. Whatever could be going on? Alice decided to follow the white rabbit.
Mr. Rabbit, Mr. Rabbit, wait for me, please. Where are you off to in such a hurry?
Alice ran after the rabbit and entered a forest. In the forest, Alice fell into a hole. It was a very deep and dark hole. The hole seemed to go on forever.
I'll fall to the other side of the earth if I don't do something.
Just as Alice thought this, she reached the bottom of the hole at last. It was a strange room with many doors. The white rabbit entered one of the doors in the room. When Alice peeked through the door, there was a beautiful garden with a fountain. Alice tried to follow, but the door was so small she couldn't get through. When Alice began to cry, her tears made the room into a sea. She's going to drown in her own tears. Alice swam in her tears and at last reached the shore. There, she found many different animals that had come swimming across the sea. The animals were all drying their bodies. There was a duck, an eagle, and a dodo bird. Just then, Alice saw the white rabbit running into the forest.
I must go after that white rabbit.
Alice began to go after the rabbit again and entered a strange forest in Wonderland. As Alice went running after the rabbit, she came to the rabbit's home. The rabbit was still in very much of a hurry.
I've lost my gloves. I've got to hurry, or I won't be in time. I'll help you look for your gloves.
Alice entered the rabbit's home. There, she found a cookie with the words "Eat me" written on it.
Since it says "eat me," I will try eating it.
But when Alice ate the cookie, something terrible happened. Alice's body became larger and larger, and she couldn't get out of the rabbit's home.
What shall I do?
Alice ate the other cookie, and she became smaller and smaller, until she was only about 7 centimeters tall.
I'm smaller than a rat.
The white rabbit left the tiny Alice and went outside still crying.
What shall I do? What shall I do? I'll never be in time. Hurry, hurry. Mr. Rabbit, wait for me. Where are you going?
Alice tried to go after the rabbit, but being only a tiny girl of 7 centimeters, she could not catch up. After a while, Alice became lost in the strange forest. Alice was now smaller than the grass and flowers in the forest. The cute puppy that appeared was much larger than Alice, and Alice was scared and hid behind the grass. But Alice still wanted to go to that beautiful garden. Just then, she heard a strange song. She walked towards where she heard the song and found Mr. Caterpillar smoking a pipe on a large mushroom.
Where should I go?
Alice asked Mr. Caterpillar, but Mr. Caterpillar kept talking nonsense and would not tell her where she should go. But he told Alice one important thing. This was that eating the right side of the mushroom would make her smaller, but eating the left side would make her larger. When Alice ate the left side of the mushroom, as Mr. Caterpillar told her, she became just a little larger and returned to her original size.
But in which direction should I go?
Alice was wondering this as she walked in the forest when she saw a Cheshire cat on a small branch of a tree. The cat had large stripes, and the grinning face of the cat looked like a human face.
Mr. Cheshire Cat, which way should I go?
The lost Alice asked the Cheshire Cat for directions. Said the Cheshire Cat, "If you go to the left, there lives a hatter, and if you go to the right, there lives a March hare. They're both a little strange, I must tell you." Alice did not know what to do, but there was no way she could go straight. So Alice decided to go to the left. There was a large tree in the Hatter's garden, and under the tree, the Hatter and the Rabbit were in the midst of a tea party. A dormouse was sitting between them. Alice approached the three, hoping to attend the tea party. But the Hatter looked at his watch and looked anxious.
Whatever is the matter?
Asked Alice. "This watch is 2 days late." So shouting, the Hatter suddenly began to take the watch apart. Is he trying to repair his watch? But what the Hatter did was to spread butter on the works of the watch. Everything is so strange. Even after this, the Hatter and the Rabbit kept acting very strange, trying to push the dormouse into the teapot.
I've had enough of this strange tea party.
So saying, Alice moved on to search for that beautiful garden. As she walked in the forest, she found a strange door in the trunk of a large tree. When Alice entered through this door, she found the beautiful garden before her eyes. It was a grand garden indeed, with a wonderful water fountain and plenty of beautiful flowers. Three playing card gardeners were hard at work in the garden, painting the white roses red. They had planted white roses, thinking they were red roses. If the queen hears about this, a horrible fate awaits them. Just then, card soldiers came marching into the garden. The queen is with them. She immediately saw that the roses were white roses. "Off with the heads of these 3 gardeners," ordered the queen. In this land, if anyone makes the queen angry, the immediate punishment is death. The queen saw Alice and said to her, "Little girl, can you play croquet?"
Yes, Your Majesty,
answered Alice politely. She was afraid that if she got the queen angry, she would be put to death too. The game of croquet began at once. This was the first time for Alice to play croquet, and things did not go well for her. The croquet mallet was a flamingo, and the ball was a hedgehog. All the players are trying very hard not to make the queen angry. Make the queen just a little angry, and the punishment is death. But the queen, who soon tired of croquet, said, "We'll next have a trial. Alice will be the defendant." This surprised Alice a great deal.
but I haven't done anything wrong.
No matter how hard Alice tried to explain, nobody would listen to her. "It was Alice who ate my tart. There is no question about this," said the queen.
I don't know anything about that. This trial is a mock trial.
"How dare you say a thing like that? Someone chop off Alice's head," cried the queen. The card soldiers came after Alice to catch her. There were a great many soldiers, so Alice ate some of the mushroom that was left and became large. Everyone was greatly surprised.
Nothing scares me now. You're just a pack of cards.
Alice, who had become large, slapped away the card soldiers one after the other. As this was going on, Alice's body gradually became smaller, and she returned to her original size. "Now, catch Alice and chop off her head." The card soldiers of the queen came after her with spears. She would be killed if caught. Alice ran as quickly as she could, but she was surrounded by the card soldiers. This is the end of Alice, or so she thought when she awoke. Alice had been napping in her own garden. Her elder sister called to her, "It's time for tea." This was the end of the strange adventure of Alice in Wonderland. The end.